Okay, so what I'm working on here is properly adjusting my coilovers. These are BCRacing BR series, and they're on my 91 MR2. Reasons you would have to adjust these are, like I had to change the struts because I blew them out by driving daily at full stiffness like a fool. It wasn't very comfortable, and I ended up blowing the struts out. You might actually have to adjust them when you first get them too. It depends on how they're shipped. First, I'm going to adjust the preload, and what you want to do is turn down this middle nut quite a ways, and you want to hand adjust the larger top nut until your spring is perfectly seated and pretty well tight in there, just hand tight. The next step is you're going to crank up the smaller locking nut for that until they meet. Now, while holding the locking nut, you want to tighten the larger nut to get the proper preload. To get the proper preload, you basically want to raise the top nut until you can fit your spanner wrench in between the two. Once the spanner wrench fits in between, you're tight. Raise up that smaller nut to lock it in place, and then tighten them down. So the next step you want to do is the lower retaining nut. You want to crank that up to free up the body of the strut to move into the holder. Then by rotating the top one, the whole assembly will tighten down into the body of the bottom adjustment. Now the trick is, you're going to have to find a way to make sure you get them both at the same height. Now what I did is I've already adjusted the passenger side to the height around where I want it. Then I locked my caliper into position of the bottom threads coming out of the main body. So I have kind of an idea of where I have to go. Just keep turning it down until I get it where I want it. So now I've gotten the ride height about where I want it. Both sides are pretty even. So you're gonna roll this retaining nut back down. Using both wrenches, you're gonna lock that in place so none of them move. And now that they're set in place and both sides are about the same height, I've already done this on the other side. What I'm going to do is take a marker and right around the center point on both of the top spanner bolts, I'm just going to make a line, so that way if I want to go lower later on, I can just go count turn at a time. 1 full turn, 2 full turns, however low I want to go next time around. Hopefully this is about as low as I want to go and I don't have to do it again, but you never know. See how it looks.